Hello everyone, a warm welcome to the AWS Data and Analytics Spotlight series. In the world of AI-powered analytics, getting amazing results from generative AI seems to be easy, but getting predictable and consistent results from your data that you could put in front of your customers, that's more of a challenge. Are you facing that challenge? My name is Satishan Varnadil. I'm a Senior Partner Solutions Architect with Amazon Web Services. And joining me today is John Park, a Principal Solutions Architect with Qlik. And today, we are here to talk about how to overcome the challenge of getting predictable and consistent results from your SAP data that you can trust and put in front of your customers. In the first part of the presentation, I'm going to touch on the importance of data foundations, what are the core elements of it, what best practices it can follow, and I will also share what are the techniques out there that you could consider when using generative AI. In the second part, John is going to talk how Qlik and AWS help you build a strong data foundation for AI, how you could build a modern data platform on AWS and Qlik, and John also will show you that with an end-to-end demo, right? So finally, we wrap up the session with a Q&A and with some guidance to follow up on. So we have got a lot to cover today. So let's dive in. AWS Marketplace offers a wide range of data and analytics software solutions, and they are secure, scalable, and cost-effective to help customers manage their data in the cloud. Qlik is an AWS partner for more than a decade, and you will find Qlik solutions on AWS Marketplace that you could leverage in a variety of use cases, such as building data warehouses or data lakes or lakehouses, and maintaining data pipelines, whether it is coming in batches, near real-time, or real-time. In addition, there are many other specialized use cases you could be leveraging, such as advanced analytics in building predictive or generative AI applications. Now, in all these scenarios, irrespective of the use cases, to make the best out of these solutions, you need a strong data foundation, and you will need to follow some best practices, because the solutions or applications that you design for your customers need to be scalable, cost-efficient, and price-performant, right? When it comes to data-related best practices, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. Actually, they are pretty specific to your particular business area. And what works for one company might not work for another. And even within the same company, different use cases might need different approaches. And it really depends on the context and what you are trying to achieve. However, there are a few common elements that always remains consistent. First, it is crucial to have access to a wide range of services that can meet your business needs, both in short term and long term. Also, you want to use these solutions to integrate with data from various sources, regardless of where it is stored. And this helps to avoid creating isolated pockets of data or data silos, because data silos, they don't communicate with each other, right? And perhaps, and most importantly, you need to have the right data governance strategy in place. And this should allow for self-service access to the data which is really vital for efficiency. Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if my data foundation is strong? Or what should I be looking for to measure how effective my data foundation is? And these are great questions, and they are important to consider as you develop your data strategy. A good way to assess the effectiveness of your data foundation is by applying the FAIR principles to your data. By the way, FAIR is an acronym for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. Now, findability is simple, right? Is the ability to view which data assets are available and having access to that metadata and other attributes for data governance and compliance. Accessibility refers to the ability to grant access to the right data for the right user. And interoperability talks about whether data is stored in a format that is available to all processing systems and applications. Now, the ultimate goal of FAIR is to optimize the reuse of data. And to achieve this, both the data and metadata should be well described so that they can be replicated or combined in different settings. So in a nutshell, being able to answer yes to the question, is my data fair, is one of the key outcomes of a strong data foundation. And this is true for most data architecture patterns, whether you are building a complex data mesh or a simple data pipeline, something like this. What you see here is a simple data pipeline where you bring data from source systems, and the goal is to provide valuable insights to your end users. And this pipeline includes several key processes such as data ingestion, data integration, pre-processing, and throughout the pipeline, data governance measures are implemented. And what you see here is how Qlik and AWS helps you implement that pipeline. And John will provide a detailed explanation of various processes in his upcoming section. But one thing I wanted to highlight here is, how does this data pipeline should evolve with a generative AI? As many of you are aware of, generative AI models, also known as foundation models, are trained on vast amounts of data. And it can be applied to a wide range of use cases, right? So when you use Amazon Bedrock, you have access to various foundation models of your choice. However, here is a crucial point. These models are not trained on data specific to your business domain. And that's where the challenge lies. Remember, when we discuss the importance of getting predictable and consistent results, the results that you can trust and confidently present to your customers, this is where customization becomes key. To ensure consistent and trustworthy results, it is essential to train these foundation models using your domain-specific data. But that raises an important question. How can you effectively accomplish that? Let's explore some practical strategies. What you see here is a spectrum of approaches for training models using industry-specific or your domain-specific data. And we have arranged these methods from top to bottom, representing a progression from the easiest to implement to the most complex. And this ordering also reflects a typical adoption journey most organizations undertake as they advance their generative AI capabilities. Here at the very bottom, you see pre-train your own model. And customers use this approach when they build their own model from the ground up. They pre-train models on very large amounts of domain-specific data. In the continued pre-training process, typically tweaks the model parameters to accommodate newly available, unlabeled data because you keep getting constantly new data, right? So that way you could improve the domain knowledge of your model. And in the fine-tuning approach, you take a pre-trained model and train it further on a smaller labeled data set and customize it. That way, it satisfies your specific business needs. And at the top, you see RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, where you do not alter the model parameters or train the model on a specific data set. Instead, you guide the model's behaviors by passing it additional context. And this context can be situational or semantic or both. So we have got a few techniques out there, right? Now you might ask, which one of these techniques or patterns should I use? I try to use this mental model when thinking about these patterns. To me, RAG is the easiest one to use. You don't have to be a machine learning expert. You don't need to know how to do fine-tuning a model or how to pre-train or build a model for yourself. That can be complex, right? What you need to do is, first of all, you select a general purpose foundation model of your choice, and Amazon Bedrock provides you that flexibility, right? So once you have made your choice, the next step is straightforward. You only need to focus on how to access your data systems. And this is crucial because it allows you to harness the full potential of your enterprise data. Now let's connect the dots. Remember the FAIR data principles we discussed earlier? Their importance becomes crystal clear at this stage. These principles are essential for effectively orchestrating and accessing your data systems. As we emphasized in the beginning of our discussion, this is the key to unlocking the full value of your data and the chosen foundation model. So the idea I wanted to drive here is your data is the differentiator to deliver predictable and consistent results to your customers, which they can trust. Now let us see how some of these components of the data pipeline we discussed earlier should evolve when you build a generative AI application. The first and foremost, generative AI introduces a critical need for additional data sources, which is primarily in the form of unstructured data, as you could see in the left-hand side. Now, unstructured data is not a new concept in the data world. In fact, more than 80% of the world's data exists in unstructured format. And what has changed is unstructured data has become the dominant input for generative AI pipelines. And this unstructured data can take various forms. For example, PDF documents, HTML files, emails, even audio transcripts, images, or a combination of all these, right? Now, let's examine a very high-level data flow, a conceptual data flow of a typical generative AI solution. First, we begin by ingesting your domain-specific data into an object store, say, for example, Amazon S3. Next, we build a metadata catalog using tools like Qlik, Talent Cloud, and to query your data. And using various products available within Qlik Cloud or AWS services such as Amazon Kindra or Amazon OpenSearch, you could build a vector data store for your domain-specific knowledge base. And this knowledge base allows you to leverage semantic search capabilities to take advantage of the RAG-based approach we discussed earlier, so that you get real-time and meaningful context. So it looks like understanding, categorizing, and extracting insights from unstructured data can be quite challenging, right? Now let's explore a RAG-based solution that Qlik provides out of the box. Imagine having an intelligent assistant that can provide contextually relevant answers from your unstructured data, and all that without the need for complex coding or time-consuming customization. And that's exactly what Qlik Answers offers. You create your knowledge bases by adding various sources such as PDFs, text files, etc. Then you set up your assistant and link it to these knowledge bases. And finally, customize your assistant with the conversation starter questions to maximize its potential to give the conversations. It is that simple. And Qlik Answers is a RAG-based plug-and-play solution for Qlik Talent Cloud. And it is available as an add-on subscription to your existing Qlik Cloud and requires no additional deployment. So the beauty of Qlik Answers lies in its simplicity. It is powered by Amazon Bedrock, and it uses Anthropic's plot model and ensures top-tier performance. Qlik's integrations with various AWS services like Amazon Bedrock, Amazon SageMaker, and Amazon Comprehend enable customers to build AI and generative AI applications within Qlik Cloud. And at AWS, we are committed to building these capabilities to help our customers scale and evolve their businesses with enterprise-grade security and privacy. And we keep innovating on behalf of our customers. Thank you for your attention. I hope you have found this session enlightening. Now, I will hand over to John. John will dive deeper into the AWS and Qlik better together aspect of our presentation.
My name is John Park. I'm Principal Solution Architect for Qlik. I work in a department called Partner Engineering. I focus mainly on our technology partnerships, and today I'm going to talk to you about the better together story of AWS and Qlik. So Qlik, we've been around for a while, and Qlik is a company that started in the analytics business, and within the years, we've acquired companies to gain knowledge in data integration, ETL, AI, etc. So AWS is the preferred platform for Qlik. Our Qlik Cloud runs on AWS. We actually sell together as well as sell on the AWS marketplace. We have about 50 offices world around. We have 40,000 plus customers, and majority of them are on our Qlik Cloud platform. Why companies choose to work with us is because we are consistently recognized as the leaders in analytics and data integration. What we do is we like to really come with a company slogan or motto where data is the opportunity. So we work with customers and lines of businesses within those customers to make data accessible and insights, easily gained insights. Where we really do well is with AWS is working with our joint customers to make sure their investments in AWS pay off. As you can see, the logos and leading companies, a lot of our main customers are on AWS, and they work with us to make sure they're leveraging the right technologies to make sure their business runs smoothly, and we're a great partner of AWS. So over the past 10 years, and we've achieved quite a things with AWS. We are a partner of the AWS ISV Accelerate. So that means we do have competencies and we do know how AWS works as well from technical as well as a business standpoint, and how to make sure customers are successful. We are certified or ready on Redshift, RDS, Private Link, Outposts. In the past few years, we've been really focused with AWS to make sure customers' journeys on the AI or currently Gen AI using services like Bedrock and SageMaker are successful. One of our largest customers are public sector customers, and they're partnering with us and AWS to make sure their analytics and data integration needs are done well or possible on AWS. What we're here to show you is that for the past 3 or 4 years, we've been really focused with AWS on making sure the discipline of analytics as well as integration on SAP is done well, and we have a lot of success cases. And these logos you see, Schneider, for instance, is a joint customer between us and AWS, and they do have a SAP system, and they're able to take ERP data, which is very complex and large volume and constantly changing, and to move that into a lakehouse or a data lake type of architecture within AWS, and then they're able to use our accelerators to report on that on near real time. A couple of things that I like to mention is our main customer base are traditional Fortune 500 customers that use ERPs, and they really look at us look at Qlik as well as AWS for expertise and leveraging the latest and greatest of the technologies that cloud has to offer, but also running their business more smoothly and efficiently. We are a marketplace seller, as well as we do have listings that are constantly updated. And finally, we do have other use cases like mainframe modernization, as well as building modern data architectures on AWS. So I think we're going to spend a little bit of time on this slide, and my demo, which is the end-to-end demo, is going to reflect back on this slide quite a bit. And this is a slide that really speaks at a 10,000 feet looking down how our systems work with SAPs. What we really call about SAP Accelerator is a template that actually has the code base that could generate a end-to-end data pipeline from SAP all the way into your lakehouse, which is either Redshift and S3 or EMR and S3, and then analytics built on Qlik Analytics. And then the Qlik Analytics also integrates with AI/ML services such as SageMaker and Bedrock, and that makes it possible. What happens here in this diagram is that your corporate data sources, especially in the manufacturing case, where you have inventories, orders, finance, all working inside SAP. Those processes are constantly running inside SAP. And then you have databases and applications to support those processes, your manufacturing resource planning, your advanced planning and scheduling, etc. And those data can be moved into AWS efficiently. So your data lakehouse efficiently, like Redshift or EMR. And then we handle all of the integration piece, doing the transformation and doing real-time change data capture detection. And we're constantly loading the data into your lakehouse. What's important is that we keep the data fresh, and the latest data that arrived or that changed in your source systems or your transactional data into your Redshift or S3, and then helping it build a lakehouse and analyzing that on the fly, right? Really making it easy for a customer who is a AWS and Qlik customer to be able to look at this and say, all right, I have my systems, I want my reporting, what's the middle, piping or the middle plumbing work? We actually do all of those for you, and we are a single platform. Qlik Cloud is a single platform that can do that for you. All right, I'm going to switch over to an end-to-end demo to a Qlik SAP Accelerator, and hopefully the diagram before will all make sense. Okay, so what you see on the screen is Qlik Cloud. When you go into Qlik Cloud, you definitely see many things, and we're going to focus on two areas, the analytics and the data integration part. And before we go on, I'd like to show you what the product that we've developed and that we're showing is. So this is a GitHub repository that has the SAP accelerators, and basically it has all of the code bases that I'm going to show you. And if you have your own Qlik Cloud tenant, you can load the code base and actually get 90% of the same thing that you see me demoing. So first thing, how do we get the data over? So moving the data from your transactional system into your data lakehouse, which may be built on top of technologies like Redshift and S3 or EMR and S3, is a challenge. And we help you do that. Inside Qlik Cloud, there is a data integration aspect, and you click on data integration and you look at projects. If you load the accelerator version, we're going to load the Redshift version, and this one has been tested, and you can see, and what you can see is we actually have a SAP accelerator that is part of the platform or Qlik Cloud platform. So we have your tenant, and you can say create and add a new SAP connection, and an extractor is here. And this is the actual flow of what happens on the accelerator. The accelerator builds 3 data marts: order to cash, inventory management, and finance analytics. And why this is important is that majority of the companies that we work with, order to cash, inventory management, and finance analytics are most important thing. If you look at a manufacturing use case, such as companies we talked about like Schneider, they are very sensitive to understanding the daily sales outstanding, fulfillment rate, how deliveries, and also understanding inventory levels is all for all. And what we want to do is help customers be able to move that data, transform it, and load a data mart that will help you. Let me go through quickly what this looks like. I'm actually going to just quickly open so you see what it looks like. So every one of these blocks that I just showed you is a actual data integration job or data integration movement. And we are actually constantly moving the data near real time. And what you see on this, when I click on physical objects, you see on the left is the actual tables itself and the data type and the native type or type of data it is, whether it be a bar chart or an integer. And we're moving the data over. Chart of accounts, controlling area. There are hundreds, thousands of tables inside SAP, and we have pre-coded jobs that pick the right tables that needed to be moved over. Go back to project again. Once that goes through, we land the data. For us, landing the data means moving the data into a storage area. So going back to that diagram, moving the data into if it's a Redshift use case, we will first stage the data into S3 and pull and create a landing structure or landing schema in Redshift and force a copy command to move the data over. Here you see the cost elements, customers, and others. Behind the scenes, we have, I'm not going to go into it because it takes a little bit of time and multiple screens to show it, but you can't, how this works is we have loaded the data dictionary for SAP, and what it's doing is picking up things that are customer master, customer text, and then renaming it to a easier way to look at this. Also, these 5 language German shorthand, like KOSTL, cost center, dictionary is looking at these five-letter German shorthand language and actually translating it. Now I want to show you the full. I don't want to go into the storage area or transfer area. I want to show you what a data mart looks like. Once you design all of this, I'm actually going to go into a allocation schedule lines fact table, and we can model a star schema. We can actually show you what this looks like. A dimension, what the dimension looks like, what tables, what columns, what is inside here, as well as we could give you a fact model. So behind the scenes, we have an accelerator that you load into our tool, and you build the credentials for the SAP extractor, and it will load common dimensions. It will land the data for order cash, inventory, finance analytics. It will constantly check up and do delta loads to figure out changes. We will actually transform, and right here is really where the data lake or large model is there, large data model. So, and then we'll actually create these data marts. Now, once this is done, if you refer back to our diagram, we have an analytics tool. I'm going to go into analytics. And we have an analytics tool, and we have a called Qlik Analytics or Qlik Cloud Analytics. And what that is a reporting dashboarding solution. And inside that, we've done pre-done the work to create this template. Again, majority of all of these public sheets are created, and once you load the pre-created templates, you get every one of these sheets pre-created and loaded, right? So it is what it's expecting is it is expecting a data mart to be behind the scenes, and all you need to do is connect up to that schema and say load, and it will actually give you, because it's give you all these analytics. So this is like an introduction. It also gives you, what problems it can solve, what are the KPIs it looks at. Let's actually look at this. Once the data, so we've gone from the step of having the data in SAP, moving the data through our common dimensions, loading and landing and staging the data, creating our data marts, and this is just order to cash data one. There is a SAP Finance analytics app, as well as SAP Inventory Management analytics app that's also available in our accelerator. And so let me just go back. So what this shows you, if I'm to do a quick demo of this analytics application, is what this shows you is the collection of dashboards, or a collection of sheets that have all of the analytics pre-built. So order amount, fulfillment, what the billings are, what the receivables are, what the account receivable, what are the late orders, and then everything is searchable, clickable, and everything is responsive. So we have 800,000 or 0.8 million of account receivables that came in late. We also show that days to order to bill is usually at 1.29 days, and late ones are 6 days, right? And the DSO actually increases. So these are type of analytics that you could get out of SAP, and majority of customers onboarding using these accelerators will get these done in months, not years. Continue to go on and look at a couple more. We are able to see sales numbers, and this is analysis exploration. This is more where your business analyst would actually be able to look at the breakdown, look at the bar charts, look at the scatter plots, look at the tree maps, etc. Let me go into let me go into fulfillment analysis. Why I want to go into this is, well, you'll see later. The fulfillment analysis shows you what units shipped on time, what shipped early, what shipped late, where units they're shipping from, right, etc. And what are the companies that ship to. And late is highlighted. What if, you could take this data and ask a LLM or a AI solution such as SageMaker, Bedrock, take this data and answer questions for you. And what if you could do it in a context-sensitive way? So what if we only care about 2002 to 2005? That seems like the years that we care about. And because the data's there, and then what if we want to really know where the shipment by city is and how things are working? So I'm going to go, everything is context sensitive. So since I only picked 2002, 2005, you see the green. And I'm going to go into a sheet that has Bedrock. What you see on here is that same billings sheet. Now we're actually taking the data and interfacing it directly with a large language model. In this case, we're using Claude from Anthropic, and the service we're using in Amazon is Amazon Bedrock. Our Qlik Cloud Analytics constantly provides a connector to Bedrock for all of your model needs. So as soon as you have model access in your AWS portal, you can actually set up a connector, and you can actually ask it questions. And what this one does is saying, with this implementation, we're using a technique called prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is asking a question with context as much as possible, and asking the LLM, understanding this context, answer the question as best as possible. So what we wanted to ask is, write a summary of billing details for my business from SAP data provided, provide detail about best customers with their sales, organization, and division net profit. This is what we're sending. Sending a snippet of data, we're sending the question, and then this is what the LLM said. The top customers are based on net profit are the following. Other top customers include here, right? And the top sales organizations are Denver and Germany. Why this is important is we're on the beginning stages of this, and we believe that using AI with your traditional dashboards or analytics solution is going to only accelerate user adoption and able to analyze things faster. We're going to go, and then the second question I ask is that this is my billing data. How am I billing? Write me a quick synopsis. It tells me who are the top profit makers. It tells me there's some negative profit customers. It tells me there are several others and the divisions. So this is like asking your assistant or business analyst to write me a quick synopsis if you're head of sales. And then finally, we take a tangent of this. Do you see any data quality issues? I think this is the most interesting part of this demo, because you could actually take a tangent or a sideways of the questions that you would ask about your data and see what the LLM would do. So LLM definitely understands what data quality is, because it's able to see the inconsistency formatting, missing invalid, missing valid. Our system, our Qlik Analytics, is context sensitive. So we're only looking at 2002 to 2005, I believe. If I click off of that and say, look at all the data, you're going to see it resending the data and re-asking the questions. And why I did that is there's going to be a lot more dirty data outside the 2002, 2005 data set. And the response is going to be a lot different, right? So let's see. First one is the top customers are changing, right? By net profit, Philadelphia came into picture, and then there are a lot more data quality issues. The beauty of Qlik with a service like AWS Bedrock or any of the AWS systems, that how we integrate it is it's all context sensitive. Meaning, if we only want to see things about Europe, and I just circle Europe, right? It would query the LLM to only ask questions about Europe. While I can go type Europe, this makes it really easy for analysts to move freely through their analytics application. Finally, the integration we have, we were able to create a ask anything, ask Amazon Bedrock anything. So the question I have is, what insight can you glean from this data? What it does is this, just a connection behind the scene. It actually sends this data and sends this question and sees if LLM can answer it. So while this is answering, I wanted to kind of go back to our initial question. How does it help manufacturers, or how does it help organizations? Well, it really allows customers who are joint AWS and Qlik customers to leverage the best of the both technologies to make their processes easier, their analytics easier, and just overall, they're going to get best return on their investment. Right here, it told me, here are some key insights that you can glean. Here are some geographies, most customers, net profits, divisions, etc. Right? You could even ask questions here. Customer, I have to hang on to those. As customers. And then you could even look at this and kind of give you a definition of what it thinks my best customers are. I hope you enjoyed the demo. We have a couple of questions that I'm going to be able to answer that are coming in, and hopefully this will kind of spark your interest as well as deepen your understanding about Qlik solutions on generative AI. The first question is, how does Qlik Cloud integrate with Amazon Bedrock to enhance AI-powered analytics for SAP data? Do I need to make separate calls? So that's an interesting question. So I didn't go over in detail, but so Qlik Cloud runs on AWS, and we do have connectors created for Amazon Bedrock to enhance AI-powered analytics. So one of the things that what we targeted is that bringing our associative engine and visualization capability with Bedrock's generative AI services. So here are a couple key points. Integration workflow. So how do we connect the data that you have in your associative engine and visualization capabilities into a service like Amazon Bedrock? So Amazon Bedrock, as we all know, is a Gen AI service which has foundation models that are trained over data on the internet. So what we can do is certain obscure terms and data that's in visualization, we could ask Bedrock to define and help and bring out advanced capabilities such as insights, summarization, anomaly detection. So you can actually set up a connector to say, do you see any anomalies? You could also set up the connector to ingest from a set of data and give some summarization as well as predictive insights, meaning what do you think is going to be able to happen? Do you see any trends there? The other thing is that how does it help SAP data is that the foundation models have data on SAP that is running out there in the public internet. So all of your codes, all of your SAP codes, SAP definitions, SAP data models, are all there. So if you do ask questions for 5-letter German codes, it will give you a very good answer. So you could actually add that to your insights and, augment your analytics capability. So, and then the second part of that question is, do I need to make separate calls? So if you're working directly in Qlik Cloud's interface, you're using a pre-built connector that's been developed in the R&D and tested. So we are making calls to Bedrock, and they're typically abstracted. So Qlik Cloud manages all the communication with Bedrock in the background. However, if you're extending that functionality, you do need to make a separate call to make sure, right, that certain AI models. So we do have ways and tips to help you do that, but certain AI models need certain keywords. So you do need to make separate calls to make those keywords come true. Like Anthropic definitely uses like keywords like assistant or human. And finally, I just wanted to just kind of sum this up. Going back to the original question, is that what we view Amazon Bedrock as a complement to Qlik Cloud and Qlik Analytics is that we want to be able to really answer those obscure questions, meaning if the data itself has terms that you do not know, or the summarization is off, you could actually use Bedrock to explain, summarize, and define. And that's kind of how we think Qlik Cloud and Bedrock will integrate for SAP data. Because SAP data is so challenging and has so many terms and different tables, this integration definitely makes sense. The second question I want to kind of go through is like, what are specific challenges in SAP data analyst does Qlik Cloud address? How does Bedrock's GenAI capabilities complement? So what we've done with SAP analytics that we do address is that complexity, right? Especially SAP ERP HANA, their data model is very hierarchical and relational and complex, meaning there's thousands of tables. And this analyzing, visualizing, this is very difficult. And as you saw in the demo, we have solution kits where we do define the terms, where we do define the transformations, where we do define the analytics that are most likely to help you. And this is from an SME that has deep knowledge on SAP's data, and that's how we help. And that's like the things we address. And the question, the second part of the question is how does Bedrock AI complement this? And the way we do this is that since Bedrock is running in the cloud and it's always, and we like to keep things up to date, we're always using the latest models. The new data that's generated in the cloud and newer versions, newer help and newer documentations that's produced by vendors such as SAP or complementary vendors are actually probably trained in those. And that's when we actually use those with our solutions, it keeps everything up to date. That's how we really, that's how it's complemented. And finally, the accessibility, right? Accessibility of data in the cloud is the way you access that data is through a service like Bedrock, because Bedrock uses the latest models and is trained on the data that's in the internet, right? So that's how we kind of see those things. So we believe that SAP data solution, Qlik solution analytics, the solution packs that I've showed you in the demo, and Bedrock will be able to give you currently our knowledge as well as Bedrock's capability of bringing foundational models that has data on that's built into your cloud as well as the internet. We'll be able to complement this to make sure your analytics is more rich and augmented to answer those questions in a more insightful way. Now I'm going to hand it over to Seth-san to answer a couple of questions on Qlik Answers.
Thank you, John. I see a couple of questions here. Let me see. So the first question is, how does Qlik Answers leverage Gen AI to enhance the user experience for business users unfamiliar with AI? Well, I love that question. So we built Qlik answers for business users in mind. As I mentioned during my presentation, Qlik Answers is a plug-and-play RAG-based solution. And under the covers, it uses Amazon Bedrock, Anthropic Claude, Amazon OpenSearch, and a bunch of other services. But don't worry, we did all the heavy lifting for you. As a business user, what you need is create your knowledge bases by adding your data sources. Then you set up an assistant and link to these knowledge bases. Then you give your assistant certain seed questions like a conversation starter so that you could maximize its potential. As simple as that. So this is a perfect solution for a business user who is not familiar with the AI or ML. I like it. There is one more question. Okay. What sets Qlik Answers apart from other generative AI solutions in the market in terms of scalability, performance, and ease of use? Again, it's a great question. As I just mentioned, Qlik Answers is a plug-and-play solution, right? It is self-service and easy to use and requires no customization coding at all. Now, the beauty is, it is built on Amazon Bedrock. So for that reason, you get the enterprise-grade security, scalability, and performance like any other AWS services. Not only that, whatever data you are using to train your model or fine-tune your model, it all stays within your VPC, within your Qlik Cloud application. So nothing is shared with the base model. So you get the right scalability, right performance, and the right security, of course, with the ease of use. I will take one more question here. The last one I see is, can Qlik Answers be tailored to meet industry-specific needs, such as oil and gas or manufacturing, when analyzing SAP data? If so, how? This is an interesting question. I should say this is very forward-looking. The quick answer is yes, you can. So right now, you can leverage your domain-specific unstructured data. And if you have any specific use cases to suit your domain, please reach out to us. We can assist you further. John, would you like to, throw some insights here, how, customers could leverage their industry-specific needs?
Yes. So I think, can it be tailored with answers? Absolutely. SAP data, other data. What we see is, every company has a detailed SAP workflow, as well as customizations, as well as workbooks on how they run their enterprise with SAP. And we could actually, with answers, ingest those guidelines and workbooks and documentations that are in PDF, Markdown, or Word documents into a answers knowledge base. And we've actually seen this, and we've actually seen productivity, and embed those automated, assistants based on knowledge base. And I do think, our next version of SAP Accelerators, which has answers embedded in there, will not only allow you to ask the questions about your data in the visualizations analytics itself, but also a knowledge base that you create tailored to specifically to your needs, right? So if you actually put a workbook or guidelines or operations a manual in there, you could actually ask those questions. And if you're a large oil and gas company or enterprise and that has those, it'd be very beneficial, right? So So Answers itself is generated to be a RAG solution, retrieval augmented generate solution built on top of Amazon Bedrock. That's what really is, right? And Answers makes it really easy for customers that have their specific data to be embedded into their analytics.
Great. Thank you, John.
Thank you. All right. Way to ask questions about this, right? If you want a copy of this, if you want a demo, if you want us to talk to customers together, if there are questions about Bedrock use cases and analytics, if there are events that we need to be at, please feel free to email us at discoveraws@qlik.com. There is a QR code to see our offering on the marketplace, as well as there's an executive guide that you will be able to get.
So thank you, everyone. And we hope you enjoyed today's sessions and learn insights to accelerate your analytics and generative AI journey. Generative AI is a game changer, and it has the potential to bring disruptive innovation to transform your customers' experiences. Whether it is SAP Analytics, Customer 360, supply chain optimization to coding few, right? Now, with this session, we are signing off. Please fill out the AWS event survey and let us know your feedback. If you want to hear more about what we shared today, or have follow-up questions, or want to schedule a follow-up call, please reach out to us. Thank you.